here I am. Mr. Mises again here with you. Now, I've had a lot of people, I've got a ton of views on my domain and range video. But it's an old video, like way old, like years ago. And I recorded it on like a little tiny phone, and that was like one of my first videos. So you could barely see the board. So now we're in the modern age with some HD. So let's redo the video so that you guys can see what we're doing. So I've got a couple of graphs here that I'm going to go over to figure out domain and range, a piecewise function and a rational function. But we're just going to look at the graphs, all right? And we're going to write these in interval notation. So take a look at this graph here. You want to pause it, go ahead, pause it, freeze, and then move on. Here we go. So I want you to notice right here, this is an open circle, all right? Open circle means that it is not included in our graph. Closed circles mean that they are included. So the domain is about the x values, all right? We're looking on the horizontal axis, left and right. What we're going to do is we're just going to start here, and we're going to keep, we're going to slide over until we get to our first piece of the graph up right there. -4 on my x, that's where it starts. Even though it's open, that's where my graph starts to hit my hand once I go around there. So I'm going to start this at -4. We're always going to go left to right. Now we're using interval notation. So we use a parentheses when a value is not included and a bracket when the value is included in our graph. Since this is an open circle, I'm going to make a parentheses. Now I'm going to continue. The graph is still hitting my feet, my hands here, right? The graph's still hitting my hands. I still have x values. There's still x, even though there's a break here, the x value is 0. It's still hitting my hand, right? It's still hitting my hand. Still, it's giving me a high five. X's are still giving me high fives all the way until you get to here. Once I pass +4, there's no more, right? It rhymes. There's no more graph. So 4 is kind of our ending place. It is our ending place. In fact, it's a closed circle. So we're going to go -4 to +4 and a bracket, and this would be our domain, all right? Now, our range goes up and down. So just like I went left and right for my x's and my domain, my range is going to go from the bottom up. So I'm going to start down here. I'm going to do the same thing with my hand. I'm going to slide up until I get to the first point. First point is a y value. I'm looking at the y values now of -4. That's the first part that touches my hand of this graph. So I'm going to say -4. All right, these are the y values. Y values, all right? So I'm going to go to -4 here. That's my y value. I'm going to keep going. It's all touching my hand. It's still touching my hand, still touching my hand, still touching my hand here. But look, right in between here and here, there's a little break. Like there's nothing touching my hand here. So I have to account for that. So as soon as it stops touching my hand, I'm going to have to stop it there. So it's going to be at -1 is my y value. So I'm going to go to -1. And I'm going to put bracket because these are solid. Now I'm going to keep going. And now there's nothing. Then it touches my hand again at y = 0. So I'm going to put a big U here. U means union. And I'm going to open parentheses 0 because that's where I'm starting again, starting at the y, 0. Then I'm going to go up and up and up. It's still, see, it's touching. My hand's still touching the graph. And then, right there, after that, no more touch. So this is going to go up to 5. And that's going to be a bracket because it's closed, all right? So let's take a look at the next example. All right, here's our second example, which is it's a rational, okay? It has two what we call asymptotes. So we've got a vertical asymptote here and a horizontal asymptote here. And what that means is the values are going to go out to infinity. So this is what this looks like. For domains, we're going to look at horizontally. So from the left to the right, all right? So we're going to start here, and notice this arrow goes all the way out. That means it goes forever. So forever in the x direction, in that way, on horizontally, forever, that's -infinity. So my domain is going to be -infinity. Now we don't include -infinity. We put a parentheses because it's more of an idea rather than an actual number. So I'm going to go -infinity, and it's going to keep going. Okay, X's, X's. It starts to go up this way, but I'm not going to follow it up. I'm just going to keep my hand going this way. All right, it touches there, but then look, right here at this asymptote, there's no X value there. So there's no X value there. I have to stop there because it's not touching my hand, technically. Remember, we're just going left and right. So this is going to be at, I forgot to mention that that's -1. All right, then I'm going to close, I'm going to keep a parenthesis there because it doesn't touch. Then it's going to start again after it doesn't touch -1. It's going to keep going. Remember, we're not going to go like this. We're just going to follow our hand along this way. And now we're going to go all the way over to positive infinity. So we're going to union this again. And we're going to go -1 to positive infinity. Our range is going to do the same. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to go down from the bottom up. Okay. So I'm going to do this. Negative infinity again, because going down forever, right? So I'm going to go negative infinity. Now what happens? It's going to go up, go up, go up. And this is -1 is my horizontal asymptote. Notice here, I'm not going to follow it along like I did, right? Once I start to go this way, now I'm going X direction. I just want to go up and down. So up, 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 up. It doesn't touch -1 anywhere. So I'm going to do the same thing. -1. Union. All right, and then I'm going to keep going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. It goes up forever to infinity and beyond. All right, so you got two examples there, one with a piecewise, another with a rational. Hopefully that makes sense for how do you do domain and range graphically. We'll see you next time, folks. Maestas out.